So Caitlin got flagrantly fouled today. Caitlin got a pretty bad. Um, she got flagrantly fouled, and it is not an ideal situation where she was trying to walk it off after Alana Smith went on her came up basically. It was a landing zone foul. It was a landing zone foul, and like it is what it is. It is what it is. Like Caitlin went down and it was just a normal call. I think the referees.
The sound of her knee hitting the hardwood echoed through the arena as the crowd went silent in an instant. Caitlin Clark was down, and for a split second, the entire WNBA season flashed before everyone's eyes in the most terrifying way possible. It wasn't just a regular fall. It was a violent landing that left the league's biggest star grimacing in pain while clutching her leg. The atmosphere turned cold as the referees huddled to review the play, and the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. This wasn't how the preseason was supposed to go, but Alana Smith's closeout changed everything in a heartbeat. The crowd held its breath, waiting to see if the rookie sensation would get back up, or if the hype train had just been derailed.
This is a huge sign. This is actually hugely positive. Caitlin Clark says post-game she landed hard on her kneecap and says, "I feel good." Emphasizes how well she thinks the refs did tonight as well. It was like, yes, duh. I think the referees, like, they are very clearly refereeing the game in a certain way. And I don't think anyone's questioning that anymore. Like, the way the referees are reffing the game right now, they are refereeing the game. Like, Caitlin is going to probably shoot 10 free throws a game. Paige is going to shoot 10 free throws a game. They are not allowing people to maul others. And by the way, Alyssa Thomas.
The officials didn't take long to realize the severity of the contact, quickly upgrading the play to a flagrant foul. It was a classic landing zone violation where Alana Smith came up under Caitlin while she was in the air, leaving her with nowhere to go but straight down onto the floor. While most people don't think there was any malicious intent behind the move, the impact was undeniable and looked incredibly painful on the replay. Caitlin went down hard, and the way she was trying to walk it off afterward suggested she was dealing with more than just a simple sting. The landing zone rule is there for a reason, and this moment proved exactly why it needs to be enforced with zero tolerance to protect the league's most valuable assets from unnecessary risks.
Clearly refereeing the game in a certain way. And I don't think anyone's questioning that anymore. Like, the way the referees are reffing the game right now, they are refereeing the game. Like, Caitlin is going to probably shoot 10 free throws a game. Paige is going to shoot 10 free throws a game. They are not allowing people to maul others. And by the way, Alyssa Thomas could be fucked. She could be fucked. But like, Caitlin says she landed on her kneecap hard, but says she's fine. She walks straight to the line without a limp after review. She appears to be fine. And that's one of the big things, because she did look worried. Like, she just looked pissed, to be honest. They might have just been losing the game.
Directly after the impact, the concern shifted specifically to her kneecap, which appeared to take the brunt of the force when she hit the deck. Watching a player of her caliber go down like that is enough to give any fan a heart attack, especially with the regular season right around the corner. She looked visibly shaken and, quite honestly, a bit miserable as she headed toward the sideline to recover. There is a thin line between a tough play and a season-ending disaster, and it felt like Caitlin was dancing right on that edge during this sequence. Even though she eventually walked to the free throw line without a noticeable limp, the initial optics were enough to send social media into a complete frenzy over her physical status.
She just looked pissed, to be honest. They might have just been losing the game. But like, I still don't think there's a point in playing her against the Nigerian national team. Look, maybe a player like 8 minutes because the fans are there to see her. But like, is a big thing. We're good. Maybe you play her 8 minutes. Because again, today she played 16 minutes, 21 points. Maybe you play her 8 on Saturday. Like, this isn't one of those games where it really matters.
Despite the scary fall, the numbers Caitlin put up before the incident were absolutely staggering for a preseason performance. She managed to rack up 21 points in just 16 minutes of action, proving that her game translates perfectly to the professional level, regardless of the physicality. It is almost unheard of to see that kind of efficiency from a rookie, especially when opposing defenses are clearly selling out to stop her at all costs. She was carving through the Dallas defense like a seasoned veteran until the flagrant foul slowed her momentum. It's clear that teams are going to try and get physical with her to disrupt her rhythm, but so far she has shown that she can handle the pressure and still deliver elite production.
Look, I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be fine. But the one thing is that it is very, very clear that the referees are calling the off the ball grabbing. Both sides. The Wings did it more in the Fever. And that would be that would genuinely be that's going to change everything is the way the referees ref this game. Like, she doesn't have to play through all the contact. Like, the way the referees are reffing the game is good. And the good thing is that the Indiana Fever
looked like a completely different team the moment Caitlin stepped off the floor, and frankly, it was terrifying to watch for the coaching staff. In the 11 minutes she was sidelined, the rest of the roster managed to score exactly one field goal. One singular basket in nearly a full quarter of professional basketball is a massive red flag for the organization moving forward. Even that shot was a fluke, coming off a defensive steal that led to a wide-open fast break layup with nobody within 10 feet of the shooter. It highlighted a glaring issue that the organization has to address immediately. Without Clark's gravity and playmaking, the offense becomes stagnant and predictable, which puts an even bigger target on her back.
The rest of the fouls were her just getting grabbed off the ball. That is the type of contact that nobody wants. Nobody wants you to be able to grab guards off the ball. And the referees just kind of stopped. And by the way, they're calling everything early. The reason why they're calling everything early is purely because teams have to get used to the way the game is going to be ref now. There's going to be a lot of free throws. There's going to be a lot of free throws. Like, I'm just going to tweet this out now. I'm just like, there's going to be a free throw a minute.
There is a growing theory among fans and analysts that Caitlin Clark is effectively made of rubber because of how many hits she has taken in her career. Throughout her final year in college and now entering the pros, she has been subjected to an incredible amount of physical punishment that would sideline most players. She has this uncanny ability to take a massive hit, look like she's in total agony for a minute, and then bounce right back into the play. However, that rubber durability has its limits, and the concern is that the constant wear and tear will eventually catch up to her. Everyone is getting scared because we saw how exhausted and banged up she looked by the end of last season, and nobody wants to see a repeat of that.
Not being hurt. Like, I was worried. I was genuinely worried when it came to Caitlin this game, because she looked miserable, man. She looked genuinely miserable on the sideline. At the same time, it was bad. The team did, in fact, score one field goal in 11 minutes when Caitlin was off the floor. And that one field goal was, that one singular field goal was a open layup after a Grand Theft Alvarado steal from...
The referees were not playing around during this matchup, and it was clear from the opening tip that the officiating style is shifting in a major way. They are finally calling the off-the-ball grabbing that has plagued the league for years, and it is going to change the way the game is played for stars like Caitlin. In the past, players were basically allowed to maul each other without any consequences, but those days seem to be coming to an end. The Dallas Wings were being much more aggressive than the Fever, but the officials stayed consistent in their whistles. This shift in officiating means that guards will finally have the space they need to operate without being held on every single possession.
Minutes when Caitlin was off the floor. And that one field goal was that one singular field goal was a open layup after a Grand Theft Alvarado steal from Raven Johnson, gave KK an open fast break layup with no within 10 feet of her. But yeah, it's a new year, hopefully new referees, and I'm going to be completely honest, it is also a hopefully new Caitlin Clark or old Caitlin Clark.
If the referees continue to call the game this strictly, we are looking at a season where Caitlin Clark might shoot 10 free throws every single night. The league is sending a very loud message that they are not allowing people to physically bully the star players anymore. This is a huge positive for the game of basketball because nobody wants to watch a wrestling match. They want to watch high-level skill and shooting. Players like Paige Bueckers and Alyssa Thomas might find themselves in a similar situation where the whistles start going their way more often. It's a new era of officiating that focuses on player safety and offensive flow, which is exactly what the fans have been asking for after years of heavy contact. Caitlin's own comments after the game provided a bit of a relief for the worried fan base. Though she didn't downplay the intensity of the fall, she admitted that she landed hard on her kneecap, but insisted that she felt good and was ready to keep moving forward. She even went out of her way to praise the referees for how they handled the game, which is a rare move for a player who just got flagrantly fouled. It shows a level of maturity and understanding of the game's direction that you don't always see from a young player. She knows that the refs are trying to protect her, and she seems appreciative of the fact that the league is finally cracking down on the dangerous landing zone plays. Despite her saying she is fine, there is a massive debate brewing about whether she should even suit up for the upcoming game against the Nigerian national team. It is a non-WNBA game that technically doesn't matter for the standings, and many believe it's not worth the risk of further injury. Why put your franchise cornerstone out there against a physical international team when she's already nursing a bruised kneecap? Some suggest she should only play a handful of minutes just to satisfy the fans who paid to see her, while others think she should be rested entirely. The Fever have to be extremely careful with how they manage her workload if they want her to survive a grueling 82-game professional schedule. The way she looked on the sideline during the game was a mix of physical pain and pure frustration at how the game was going. She looked genuinely miserable at times, likely because her team was struggling to stay competitive whenever she wasn't leading the charge. Caitlin is a fierce competitor who hates losing more than she loves winning, so seeing the lead slip away probably hurt more than the actual foul. It is a heavy burden to carry an entire franchise on your shoulders as a rookie, and you could see that weight reflecting in her body language. She isn't just playing against the opposing team, she's playing against the massive expectations that have been placed on her since day one. The reality of the WNBA is that teams are going to test her toughness every single night until she proves she can't be rattled. The Dallas Wings were very physical, grabbing her off the ball and trying to force her into uncomfortable situations. This is the type of contact that fans have been complaining about for years, and it's finally being addressed by the league office. The fact that she only had one foul called on her while shooting, with the rest coming from off-ball contact, tells you everything you need to know about the defensive strategy. Teams are trying to wear her down before she even gets the ball in her hands, but the referees are starting to catch on to those tactics. Looking back at the history of the league, players have been getting mauled on the court for nearly 30 years with very little intervention from the officials. This season feels like a turning point where the product on the floor is being prioritized over the old-school physical play style. There are going to be a lot of free throws early in the season as teams struggle to adjust to these new boundaries. It might be annoying for some fans to see a whistle every minute, but it's a necessary transition to ensure the game evolves. If the league wants to continue its massive growth, it has to protect its stars and allow the skill players to shine without being hacked on every drive. Caitlin's ability to walk straight to the line without a limb after the review was the biggest green flag of the entire night. It showed that while the hit was significant, her body is holding up to the pressure for now. However, the coaching staff cannot afford to be complacent about her health. They saw how the team fell apart when she was off the floor, which might tempt them to play her more minutes than they should. Finding the right balance between winning games and preserving her health is going to be the biggest challenge for the Indiana Fever this year. They cannot afford to lose her for any extended period, or their season will essentially be over before it truly begins. The upcoming schedule is grueling, and the fact that some fans are staying up until 3 a.m. in places like France just to catch a glimpse of her shows the global impact she has. The pressure isn't just coming from the local media, it's a worldwide phenomenon that follows her every move. Every stumble, every foul, and every three-pointer is being analyzed by millions of people across the globe. This level of scrutiny is unprecedented for a WNBA player, and it adds an extra layer of stress to an already difficult transition. She is carrying the growth of an entire sport on her back, and moments like the flagrant foul in Dallas serve as a reminder of how fragile that progress can be. Off-the-ball grabbing is the silent killer of offensive flow, and seeing the referees finally blow the whistle on it is a breath of fresh air. It's the kind of contact that nobody wants to see, because it doesn't involve basketball skill. It's just about holding and jersey tugging. The fact that the referees are calling these fouls early in the season is a deliberate choice to force teams to change their defensive habits. They want the game to be about speed and shooting, not who can hold the jersey the longest without getting caught. For a player like Caitlin, who relies on movement and spacing, this change in officiating is the best news she could have received heading into her rookie year. The rubber aspect of her physicality is something that often goes overlooked when people talk about her skill set. She has a level of functional toughness that allows her to absorb contact and keep her focus on the basket. We saw it time and time again during her college career where she would get knocked down and still find a way to hit a logo three on the next possession. But the professional level is a different beast entirely, with stronger and faster athletes who know exactly how to use their fouls. The flagrant foul from Alana Smith was a wake-up call that the preseason is just as dangerous as the regular season when you have a target on your back like Caitlin does. It is genuinely impressive that she was able to stay in the game and continue producing after such a scary moment. Most players would have taken a few possessions off to gather themselves, but she went straight back to work. That mental toughness is what separates the great players from the legends. Even when she looked pissed off on the sideline, she never let it affect her performance on the court. She ended the night as the high scorer despite playing limited minutes, which is a testament to her elite scoring ability. If she can stay healthy and the referees continue to protect her from dangerous plays, there is no telling what kind of record she might break this season. The concern for the rest of the Indiana Fever roster remains at an all-time high after seeing how they performed without her. If Caitlin is the engine that makes the car go, the rest of the team looked like they were stuck in neutral the entire time she was resting. They need to find a way to generate offense that doesn't rely entirely on her creating shots for everyone else. The one field goal in 11 minutes is a stat that should keep the coaching staff up at night. They have a generational talent, but they also need a functional team around her to truly compete for a championship. The reliance on her is so heavy that any minor injury becomes a catastrophic event for the franchise. As we move closer to the regular season, the focus has to be on longevity and smart management of her minutes. The preseason is about getting into rhythm, not risking a major injury in a game that doesn't count. The flagrant foul was a stark reminder that anything can happen at any time on a basketball court. Whether she plays against Nigeria or sits out to rest her kneecap, the priority must be her long-term health. The fans want to see her play every minute, but they also want to see her play for the next 15 years. Making the right decision now could be the difference between a successful rookie campaign and a season defined by what-ifs and missed opportunities. There is a sense of optimism surrounding the league right now because of the way the games are being called. It feels like the WNBA is finally ready to embrace a more modern style of play that highlights its stars. Caitlin Clark is the face of this transition, and she is handling the pressure with incredible grace. Even when she's getting knocked down and landing on her kneecaps, she stays focused on the bigger picture. She understands that the physicality is part of the game, but she also knows her value to the league. The officials are doing their part to ensure that the game remains fair and safe, which is all anyone can really ask for at this stage. The final takeaway from this preseason scare is that Caitlin Clark is as tough as they come, but she isn't invincible. The league is lucky that she was able to walk away from that flagrant foul without a serious injury. It serves as a warning to every other team that the referees are watching and will not hesitate to blow the whistle on dangerous plays. The hype surrounding her is real, and the target on her back is only going to get bigger as the season progresses. She has the skill, the toughness, and now the support of the officials to make a massive impact. It's going to be a wild ride, and every fan will be watching her every move with bated breath. In the end, the fact that Caitlin is okay is the biggest win of the night for the Indiana Fever and the WNBA as a whole. She is the spark that is lighting the league on fire, and seeing her bounce back from a flagrant foul is just another chapter in her incredible story. The physicality will continue, the fouls will keep coming, and the pressure will only increase, but she has proven time and again that she is ready for the challenge. As long as she stays made of rubber and keeps finding a way to get back up, the sky is the limit for what she can achieve. Let's just hope the rest of the season features more logo threes and fewer scary landings on the hardwood.